believes I can't sleep.
It's time to listen to Courtney at last on the Ramblings of an Insomniac podcast.
Hello, and welcome to another episode of the Ramblings of an Insomniac. I am Courtney. I am in a totally different locale today. Locale? I don't know why I just said that. That sounded really weird. No one says that anymore, and I never used to say that ever. Locale. We're in a new locale. No, I am in a totally different location. And it's kind of creepy, actually. So, if I'm on my podcast and you hear scary sounds, you may listen to witness a murder. I don't know. I shouldn't say that. I say that jokingly, but I mean, I'm going to stay in the well-lit areas. I'm in a pretty safe area. So, I don't know. That's what they all say, though. I mean, everybody thought Ted Bundy was a charming guy. So, Anyway, hello. Hey, shout out to all of you that have been listening to my babble, listen to my nonsensical craziness. You know what I'm noticing, and I find this absolutely so cool. I've been noticing it'll show me like what cities and areas are tuning in. And I'm noticing a lot of stereotypically and like on the map, very liberal areas that have been checking me out. And I have to tell you, that is really, I keep saying awesome and amazeballs. I need to come up with new words. It's like I have the same freaking dictionary that I just use the same words to have a word a day calendar. Not even a word a day because I'm using the same thing over and over. I need a word a day calendar because then I can have a better vocabulary. I need more adjectives here. What I'm trying to say is I have noticed that a lot of, by a map, if you look at it, very liberal areas, liberal cities, have been, and just liberal states as a whole, like not just little cities, but like many people from California, different areas of California, many people for different areas of Oregon are tuning in, and like Canadians, you Canucks, you crazy Canucks, I love you. And like France. I mean, France, you guys, I pick on you so much. And so I have to tell you, freaking cheers to you. Oh my God, I'm winded, you guys. You would think I just ran a mile. Holy shit. Okay. Anyway, cheers to you guys. Salud. Because if you guys sit here knowing how much I talk shit about lefties, I don't about like liberals. I talk shit about the extreme left. And to be fair, I talk shit about lots of different types of people. So I spread I believe in true equality. I equally pick on everybody from all walks of life. And hey, I'm a blonde. I get blonde jokes all the time. There's a helicopter, or I mean, an airplane. Sorry, guys. I get blonde jokes all the time, and I take it like a champ. You know why? They're freaking funny. But at any rate, I genuinely have so much respect and give so much props and have a lot of gratitude for the fact that you can take it on the chin when I share my, of course, very strong, as you well know. I don't really hold anything back. I have pretty strong opinions, and I genuinely have strong opinions about the extreme left. And I'm not saying that if you're from a Democrat city that you are an extreme left. So not at all. And I, again, have nothing against Democrats at all. I judge people by their morals, their ethics, who they are as a human, not what religion or race or gender or political party they are affiliated with. That said, I'm not going to lie. It is very, very difficult for me to not judge someone that is very blatantly an extreme lefty. But at any rate, I am noticing that a lot of typical Democratic and liberal areas have been tuning in. And wow, I appreciate it. It was not expected. And I am feeling like, winded and dizzy. I have to sit my butt down, but it is soaking wet. And if you hear, there's a big old fountain. And I don't know about you, but sometimes when I hear running water, it makes me have to pee. So I hope it doesn't make everybody have to pee. And then you're sitting here listening to me breathe heavy because I'm apparently out of shape. And then there's like an airplane going overhead. So a typical podcast, a typical ramblings of an insomniac podcast, just a big ol' shit show. Anyway, hello. So thank you. Thank you to every single person, no matter where you are from, no matter what part of the planet you reside. I appreciate it truly, truly from the bottom of my heart. I am filled with gratitude because more and more people have been checking me out, and I love it. And again, you can always send me an email, and let me know your thoughts, what you would like me to talk more of, less of, what I could do to improve, what you like, a topic that you think would be worthy of bringing up. It is ramblings of an insomniac 49 at gmail.com. Ramblings of an insomniac 49 at gmail.com. Check it out. Well, you don't have to check it out. There's nothing for you to see, but I mean, you can email me if you would like. So, what's been keeping me up? Oh boy. What has been preventing me from counting fluffy sheep? Oh Lord. Many, many, many things. The elections, feeling good, being thankful, not trying, but feeling like I'm making progress as a human. Like I'm a big girl now, I feel like every 10 years, every decade, you feel closer and closer to being a mature adult. Maybe when you're like 90, you might be like, all right, I've arrived. Finally, I've reached adulthood. But at the same time, it's like, you always hear people say you don't want to grow up too fast and always, stay childlike and have fun. And you always get conflicting things. There's so many quotes and mottos that people live by that, are opposites, like the early bird gets the worm. And then it's like, stop and smell the roses. And like one minute people are telling you to like get up and get going and be productive, go, 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 get things done, achieve, accomplish. And then other people are like, chill, relax, stop and smell the roses and, breathe in. But there doesn't have to be an and or, right? It always cracks me up when people are and or. You're either do you like this or that? Are you this way or that way? Do you believe in this or do you believe in that? Well, there are a lot of things like abortion, for example. I see both sides of the fence. I think there are good cases for people that are pro-life, and there are good cases for people that are against abortion. I mean, that are for abortion, for pro-choice. Sorry. So that's a tough one. Same with the death penalty. The death penalty is a tough one for me. There is a lot that goes into it. I feel like it's not a black and white thing. I know that our legal system can be very messed up. There are innocent people in prison, innocent people in death row. And at the same time, I don't want to waste taxpayers' money and time and energy and have to release a bunch of other people because our prisons are overcrowded. And statistically, prison in America, anyway, does no good. The reoffense, the odds of them offending again are very high. I don't have the stats with me right now. I did a podcast on it a while ago, and of course, I don't remember because I have mushy insomnia brain. But reoffending is something that happens in America. But then there was a study in, I feel like, Sweden or Norway. Maybe it was just like the Scandinavian countries, that instead of a prison like we have here in the States, in their prison system, they grow their own food, they have jobs, they get an education, they do things to where they learn to succeed in life. They learn to take care of themselves and succeed and have responsibilities and know that they need to follow through because they have to earn the money to buy their groceries and stuff. And their reoffense rate was something like 17% or 7%. Look it up. I'm not quoting, I'm not getting the stat exactly right. You'll have to look it up. But it's like 17 or 7% for reoffense. And again, I don't know the exact stats for America in particular or other countries, but I know ours sucks and it doesn't work. Our systems do not work. So point being, doesn't have to be and or, because, part of me is like, if they did it and they're admitting they did it and there was no question, like Ted Bundy and a lot of the serial killers out there, then, absolutely. And also don't wait. Why wait? Just throw them in the fire right then and there, the minute that they're announced the death penalty. Okay, bye. Maybe get a day or two, get the paperwork and stuff and all of that. But I'm not trying to sound like the heartless bitch, but someone like the Ted Bundys out there, especially when they say they admit that they are guilty, then we don't have the money, we don't have the space, and we don't need to waste energy on those type of people. But then there are the innocent people out there, and I know that percent is very low as well, but it's not black and white. And there are a lot of things. And so people are always like, are you this way or that way? And I'm like, chill. Can't we kind of have a little bit of both? There can be gray. There can be a gray area. I can see both sides. And we definitely, right now, in this time of this day and age, we certainly need to do more of that, I think, myself included, of course, but we definitely need to do a little more of maybe a gray area, just meaning, I don't mean that as in, we need to not follow the rules and that we should always cross a line and, there's always a gray area. On some things, of course, there's black and white. But right now, we can all maybe find that middle ground. We can find that gray area and work from there and try to agree that, okay, let's start with, do we all love our country? If we don't all love our country, can we agree that we all want people to make money? Do we all want to make money? That's probably something we can all, money tends to unite. So we can start with that. But I'm already seeing this fear mongering, like when Kamala did her concession speech. There's going to be some dark days ahead. Why are you saying that? Why put that out there? Why even put that into people's mind? Don't put that thought out there. That's just you're subliminally, I can't talk today, subliminally, Lord, putting that out there. And that's not necessary, and we don't need to do it. And I loved how she talked about loyalty. I'm like, girl, you are not loyal. And then she talked about our Constitution. And I'm like, again, you are the wrong person to be talking about our Constitution, the one that is trying to kill the Constitution. Oh my gosh, I'm feeling dizzy. Sorry, guys. I have not been drinking enough water at all. It is, and it is showing. So, the fact that Trump has won has been amazing. But of course, the eternal pessimist in me is just freaked out that someone is going to try to assassinate him again. And I hope to fucking God that's not true. And I hope they do not succeed, because I'm worried, because of course he wants to do a lot of things that a lot of higher ups are not going to be fond of. They are things I am fond of, but he's going to piss off a lot of people, which is sad, because he wants to do things that are good for America, that will make America thrive and be safe, and also know that you shouldn't mess with us. It will show people that you need to be held accountable, that nobody is above the law. In fact, people like politicians and people of higher power need to, if anything, be held more accountable. They should represent themselves. They should be even more respectful and be held accountable, because they are representing us. We put them in power because we trusted that they would do a good job. We trusted them with our votes and what we want for America. And so um, if they are committing fraud, if they are money laundering, if they are doing things like that, then of course they need to be held accountable to the highest extent. I mean, God, even if don't want to say even if they, because drinking and driving is a really big deal, and I don't mean to downplay it, but if they're drinking and driving, I mean, if they are, of course, not paying their taxes, these things need to actually be looked at. They need to be, it needs to be something that obviously these politicians and people of higher power should not be doing. And now they've gotten used to, along with celebrities, just prancing around, doing whatever they want, and having no recourse. And then again, like I've said 1,000 times, we continue to follow them on social media, buy their merchandise, listen to their music, pay for tickets to go to their concerts. And we are the ones giving them money and power. We need to chop them off, not chop them off. Oh, that's not what I meant. For anybody listening, I'm not suggesting anybody chop anything. But we need to knock them off of their pedestals. The pedestals we put them on. But I do love that Kamala thought that she could have all of these celebrities. Not that Trump didn't have celebrities, he did too, but I was talking to my friend about this, and I feel like the difference between Trump's celebrities and Kamala's they're vastly different, because Kamala had celebrities that were I'm not saying they are unintelligent, because I know that Taylor and Beyonce are smart. I'm not claiming that they aren't. But they're more, like singers and entertainers, which is great. Singers and entertainers are great. I like music. Whereas yes, of course, Trump had an MMA fighter, but he also had a lot of people that were highly educated and from political backgrounds or business backgrounds. And so I feel like people take him a little more seriously because, again, we're not voting on prom king and queen. This is not high school. And again, I'm not trying to imply that if you are an entertainer, that you are stupid. Not saying that at all. I'm just saying, again, I feel like people will take like lawyers and um, business owners a little more seriously, and veterans, military, a little more seriously. And they did. I don't feel like it. They did, because he won the popular vote. So I am incredibly ecstatic to know that Trump will be at the helm. I think people are expecting things to just be fixed right away. And we all need to remember that Rome was not built in a day. So we need to give the man, because it's a clusterfuck. Things are pretty foobar, and it's going to take a bit. But I do like that he's already has people thinking about crossing the border. I'm sure they're like, oh, fuck. Or they're all trying to get in. Well, actually, they're probably all trying to get in right now because they know they have until January. And again, I love how Kamala says how she is for closing the border. And yet here it is wide open, and she has until January. She's still VP. And I don't see her making any attempts at closing that thing up. So interesting, right? I don't know if I want to keep walking. Again, if you guys hear anything, just know it's not part of my podcast. So we shall see, but I like how there's already, people claiming fraud, even though he won by a landslide. We all know it doesn't matter. Hey, our side was going to do the same thing, myself included. If she won, I was 100% going to be like fraud. So, I would do the same. I get it. Although I do feel like their circumstances are different because Trump has proved time and time and time again to be a solid guy, no matter how much our government wants to dig and dig and dig. Whereas the current administration, you barely scratch the surface and skeletons and demons come out and, Anyway, that's been keeping me up. But what I find also pretty hilarious is that J-Lo, Ms. Jennifer Lopez, Miss Jenny from the block, that woman, Jesus Christ. First of all, who in the bloop does she think she is giving people advice on men? Honey, J-Lo, you are going to tell the American public your opinion and how you characterize a man. You're going to tell us what you think of another man and want us to value your opinion. Yours. The woman that has been married and or engaged more times than like Liz Taylor. Well, Liz Taylor has her beat, I believe. But you think that we're going to take what you think about men and how you characterize a man, Mrs. Diddy, Mrs. Diddy from the block? Really? Come on. You have no business standing up there and talking about your opinion on men. It's ridiculous. That said, it is driving me crazy that the celebrities that said they were going to move. So far, I realize moving takes time. I realize it takes time, especially in California, to try to sell a house in California, especially a house that's $4 bajillion with 97 rooms and, 67 bathrooms and 47 garages. I'm sure that alone, no matter where you put it, is going to take a while to sell. And then you put it in California, where everyone is trying to move away from, where everyone wants to be on the other side of the earth from. I mean, Jesus, Mother Nature has been trying to take out California for quite some time now. I'm sorry, California. There is a lot of people from California that are listening to me, and I'm just being an asshole. I'm not talking to, just really upset with the celebrities out there and those extreme lefties that have taken a good state, a beautiful state, and turned it into a dumpster and turned it into a big ol' crack den. It's sad. And I'm not saying this sarcastically, I genuinely feel bad for California and Indiana and Oregon. I mean, my state's not any better. For turning it into a shithole, because Oregon is also a beautiful state. Washington, same thing. Seattle used to be cool as fuck. Seattle used to be considered one of the cleanest cities, big cities. It was something like that cities that had more than, I don't know, it was something like more than 500,000 or something, or maybe it was more than a million, but it was a bigger number. And it was in like the top 5 cleanest cities. And I used to love going to Seattle. Puget Sound is freaking amazing. I bought a lot of jewelry around Pike Place Market, and of course, it's just always fun to watch them throw the fish around. And it was just a cool city. And now it has turned into this shithole, and it's sad. And I feel bad for people that live there because they have to pay up the ass for rent, and it's so crime ridden right now. And I used to go to Mariners games all the time, but you know, I'm sorry, but when you have extreme left, they ruin cities. And then what irks me is they ruin their cities because they realize, and then when they realize their policies do not work, after they keep trying and trying, and they're like, this ain't working. And then what do? They roll on into another city or another state and ruin that one. And that is not fair to those of us that did not make those same choices. It is not fair to those of us that did not make the decision to vote for idiots, that were not lemmings. And then they just go around just ruining. It's like this whole tornado, this whole path of destruction. It's like the Tasmanian devil. So trying to sell houses in California has to be a nightmare. And I feel really bad for those of you in California and in states like my own that are ran by people that don't give a crap about us. And then we live in these states that we genuinely love. Like, I love Oregon. I think Oregon is so fucking beautiful. And I've met a million awesome people, level-headed, cool people. And I love that we love our trees. I'm a tree hugger. Whoop, whoop. I love art. Whoop, whoop. Portland. Portland is another place that used to be fucking rad. It was so fucking rad. I loved going to Portland. And again, it was considered a cleaner city. And I love to death that they love their bikes. That is amazing. I don't like that they like their electric cars. That is just ignorant on every level and annoys me. But hey, bike your heart out. That truly does help our planet. And that is amazing. And I like that they like being in shape, and fucking God love them for coffee, because I swear to God, and their microbrews and their restaurants. Yeah. Amazing restaurants. Their microbrews were considered like being in Germany. So you cannot touch Portland, Oregon's microbrews. and food and coffee and bike trails and art. But now it's also just a big drug den. It's a big crack den, and it's sad. I mean, God, I used to wander around on the streets of Portland in the middle of the night, and I mean, maybe it wasn't the smartest thing in the world to do, but I didn't feel unsafe. I mean, certain parts of Portland, just like anywhere. I mean, Jesus, I'm from Seaside, Oregon, and there's even certain parts of Seaside you don't want to go to. So every place has their area, but it's just sad. And I feel bad for people in it. And I just wish people would look at all, again, perspective, photography, look at things from all angles. That's what I do. I look at things from all angles. And I like the quirky. I like the weird. Again, I don't have anything against people that are transgender, gay, identify as a tree, Democrat. I don't care what color you are. I don't care about any of that. I genuinely don't. I do care very, very, very much, though, if you're a fucking idiot and you don't admit it. I care very much if you are trying to call me something and label me as something and characterize me as something when you've never met me and you've never had a conversation with me. I care very much if you threaten my life or my family's life when you don't know me and you haven't had a conversation. I don't think you should be threatening people while in the same breath talking about how wonderfully accepting and loving you are. So I'm hoping here we are with still having Kamala as vice president and knowing that Trump is going to be taking over in January. I'm really hoping that we can all just put all that BS aside and try to conduct ourselves like the grown ass adults we are. And if you're not an adult, then, I guess you have a little more room to talk, a little more room to grow and learn. This is the time, actually, though. It doesn't give you the excuse. It doesn't give you a reason to be, to hurt somebody. There's never an excuse or a reason to threaten people's lives. But if you're younger, if you're a minor, this is the time to see things from all angles, look at things objectively, absorb, take in, use your senses. We have 5 of them for a reason, right? Don't waste your senses. We have eyes for a reason. We have smell, we have touch, we have taste for a reason, and we need to make sure that we are using them because people like to, sidetrack us by shiny things. God bless Theo Vaughn and Charlie Kirk and Joe Rogan and just anybody. I'm not going to be able to list every single person, but those out there that were like, hey, come talk to me. Let's talk to the world. Let's have a neutral platform and let's just talk. Let's talk it out. And I'm sure there are a lot of Democrats who have done the same, and I'm sorry that I'm not mentioning them. But I think we should continue that because it's out of our control now. It is what it is. So now what do we do when something is out of our control? We just let that go and we move forward and we focus on the things that we can control and the things that are positive and solutions. So on the positive side, it has not just been politics keeping me up. It is change. And the fact that, like I have mentioned again many times in my podcast, I am very much a Nike kind of gal. I have to just do it. The minute my brain gets involved at all, or I think about things, I won't do it. I will not follow through. And I know that sounds obviously, if I'm going to start my own business or, if you're going to get married or have children or whatever, obviously you have to think things through. You should have a plan. You need to think about the pros, the cons, and all of that. I just mean, I if I decide I'm going to work out or eat healthy, or start if I want a different job, um, if I've decided that I am done with a relationship, these are things that I've already like thought about many, many times. And I've already thought about the pros and the cons, or I've already gone to counseling, or I've already tried to work it out, or um, I've already thought about and I've already gathered my information and looked at things from all points of view and all perspectives. So by the time I've decided to do something, I have to just seriously wake up and just start doing it. I have to just wake up and start doing yoga. I have to just wake up and stop drinking Red Bull. I have to just wake up and immediately put my applications in, or start applying for loans to, start my own business. I just have to just pull out my computer and pull up, banks or whatever, and apply for loans, and just literally just do it right that second. And I feel like like every 10 years, maybe this is, I feel like kind of very much a woman thing too, but I'll speak for myself. You're like, yes, I've arrived. I personally embrace my age. I really do, because I genuinely look at it as I've literally lived another year, which woohoo, who doesn't want that, right? So that's always a good thing. But B, like, all right, one step closer to, not being maybe it's one step closer to being in a nursing home, but it's one step away from the nut farm, right? At least for me, I'm like, all right, I am not in a padded cell. Another year of not being locked up, whether it's prison or in a nut house. So go me. I haven't killed anybody. I haven't punched anybody. And I'm not so cuckoo that I'm locked up. So woo, I'm doing well. But I also feel like I've learned a lot, and I start realizing my self-worth. I realize my value. I realize what I want and don't want out of life, because it's getting shorter each year. And because I'm like, well, shit, how many more years of this do I want? How many more years of bullshit do I want? How many more years of happy do I want? How many more years of being exhausted do I want? How many more years of abuse do I want? How many more years of um, living in areas that I may not like as much as I thought? You know, um, it's just about choice, of course. And I feel like the older you get, you start realizing, wow, I have to really freaking start doing things for me. I really need, and maybe you are already that person. And if you are, then honestly, I admire you. I used to be that person very, very much, was a driven, tenacious person. And I was a bull in a china shop. If I wanted something, then get the fuck out of the way, because I'm getting it. And no is not an option. I mean, if I hear no, I'm like, okay, I accept it. But I mean, as in, I heard you, and I heard you tell me that there's a problem. So now I'm going to find the solution. And I was that way forever. And then uh, some major stuff happened in my life, and I got incredibly sick and hospitalized with meningitis. I had 106 fever for a couple of days. And then I also got cancer, and then I got divorced. And so then that kind of set me back for a while. But then I was like, all right. And then I was back on top again, and then other stuff happened. And I was always like, that's okay. I'm not going to let these things be excuses. Not going to let these things, they slowed me down, of course, because I was sick and in the hospital, and I had 2 kids, and I was divorced at the time. And so although we co-parented, I still had children and a full-time job, and I was hospitalized and all going through these things. But that's usually, I've noticed, when I'm at my best. I think pressure is something, it's like crack to me. It's almost like the more someone is like, you're worthless, you're a piece of shit, you're no good, which I've been told, unfortunately, a million times, um, it just makes me go, really? Huh. And so there's this Maren Morris song called Second Wind that I absolutely love. And it's like, just when you think that, you're down, just hang on a second. I'm going to catch my second wind, and look out when I catch my second wind, because I'm going to rise. And just like that Katy Perry song, Rise. And, there's so many of those songs. And I go through these bouts of not following through. And again, it's because I stopped doing, I started thinking too much, and I got in my own head, and I started believing the critics. I believed the critics that told me that I couldn't do it and I shouldn't do it and that I'm worthless. And I don't know when I started believing what other people said. Because even when people would give me compliments and tell me good things, unfortunately, I didn't even believe them. I didn't believe the critics, nor did I believe my supporters. Um, Unfortunately, I'm one of those people that I'm like, thanks, I appreciate it. But the reason that I like individual sports is because if I fail, I want it to be my failure and only my failure. I want to be the reason that I didn't get first place. Just like if I win, this sounds selfish, but if I win, I want it to be my win and my win alone. Not because I can't share, not because I'm selfish, but because I know that I've done what I could and I've earned it. I don't want to have to rely on others. I don't want other people um, to rely on me, and I don't want to rely on others. I want it to be my victory and my loss. That may sound selfish, but it is what it is. It's how I am. Well, it's just like when um, with now my brain just went blank, but I just feel like I've arrived. And if I get a business and if I get something, I want to be able to do it on my own. And I have to just wake up, make a decision, and do it. And lately, I believe that's what I was going. I believe the critics, I believed them. And I started getting in my own head, and I started thinking way too much. And then I overthink. And then I overthink about overthinking, and it becomes this whole thing. And I now, I feel like I feel like Stella got her groove back, you know? I feel like I've sort of taken a breath, taken a step back, evaluated some things, and really was like, what am I worth? What do I want? How much longer do I want to live in misery and um, not be happy and not um, and just take this anymore? Or do I want to step forward? I'm sorry, you guys. I am like pausing and talking like way slow, and you're probably like, ugh, fast forward, yawn. But it's just amazing how when you get older, it really is true that you start kind of thinking about different things. Like you start watching the news all of a sudden because you realize that shit affects you. You realize, damn, I need to be paying attention to what the fuck is going on in the world because I will need a job. And if I have a job, I need to know where my taxes are going. I need to know what is going to happen if when my kids go to school, what kinds of things they're learning. It's a big deal. You have to start paying attention. I mean, you start realizing that you need to pay attention to that shit because it directly affects you. And so lately, I finally just woke up and I was like, shit, my choices are really affecting me. My choices have been affecting me, and I have made some poor decisions that have bit me in the butt. And now I'm finally making decisions that are for me and not for others. And as selfish as this sounds, but they're not for my sons. They are not for my friends. They are not for my employers. They're not for anybody else but me. And I've been learning, boundaries. I've always had boundaries. But I'm learning to have some more and realize that I don't always have to be the hero. I don't always have to be the nice guy. I've never had a problem telling people to fuck off or no, but I mean that as in like, I do have a problem when it comes to like my family or like really close friends and stuff, or like even customers and stuff that I like a lot. I tend to add more onto my plate and commit to things that I end up regretting, just in the sense that I'm like, man, I was way too tired and I'm sore and I hurt too much to do this. Um, I shouldn't have committed to it. But I like them and I want to help people. I genuinely like to help people. I don't do it because I'm trying to get anything out of it. I just genuinely like to help people. And so I commit to things. And lately I'm like, but my back is hurting. And man, that just added like a couple more hours onto my day and I'm already exhausted. And so I need to learn that I can still help people, but I don't have to do it all the time with everybody, I don't know. You would think at 50, like I said, I did a better job when I was younger. My God, I did not eat candy. I did not drink soda. I did not drink coffee. And I had boundaries. I still don't. And I definitely didn't then care what people think, in the sense that I wasn't going around going, yeah, fuck you. Fuck you. I wasn't all like, you know, fuck the system or anything like that. I just mean, if you liked me, then that was cool. And I appreciated it. And if you didn't like me, I was like, I wonder why. And I would, question it maybe, or maybe even ask the person, hey, did I do something to make you mad? Did I do something to piss you off? Did I offend you? And if they're just like, no, I just don't like you or whatever, I'm like, all right, cool, that's fine. I don't care. And then I started caring. And now I'm back to, again, of course, I'm not going to go around trying to piss people off. And of course, I'm not saying, fuck everybody. I'm just saying, if you like me, cool. If you don't, I have a lot of amazing friends. And I like to spend time focusing on them. So it's fine. And if you do like me, that's amazing. Come on in. I would love to have more amazing friends. That's cool too. I'm not against friends, not against more people to talk to and say hey to and, share, just talk to and share opinions and interests. But we go through phases, right? That is what being a human is. We are constantly evolving and learning and hopefully growing. Unfortunately, there's a lot of people out there that are still stuck with their same mindset. And hey, maybe they were just always right all along. Maybe they were one of those people that just thought they were right all the time, and maybe they were. But of course, being right is subjective. So we don't know. Anyway, what else? This is really a complete off topic thing, but I was following a dump truck the other day that had gravel in it, and it had one of those signs that was like, construction utility vehicle, do not follow. And I was like, but I'm going that way. Like, what if I live down? What if you're going down the only road I have to like go to my house? I have to follow you. And I know what they're meaning. There's gravel. They don't want the gravel to like hit your windshield and all that crap. But I just found it funny because I was like, kind of have to. And then the other thing that's been on my mind is I'm noticing um, kind of a shift in the sense that younger people, and by younger people, to me, by younger people, I mean, I'm not saying you guys are younger babies or anything like that. I just mean younger than myself. But the ages of like, I'd say 18 to like 27-ish are, that was like very specific, 27. That sounded really specific, but I'm actually running into a lot of very respectful, polite, hardworking, humans, I don't want to say kids because they're not kids, humans in that age range lately. And I'm noticing them in drive-throughs and at work being polite and looking you in the eye and making conversation and knowing how to like count change back and stuff. And I'm sorry, but that was not happening before. I think it was a little bit of different age group. It was in that like 28 to like 30, early 30s kind of group. And then the really young group, like the 16 to the, like 15 to 18. I'm being like really specific, but you know what I mean? Right now, it's weird because I'm just noticing a lot of politer people holding open doors for me. And I thought that was the same generation that's like, don't hold open a door. I'm a woman. I can do it myself. I don't need no man to hold open my door. And like they would throw a huge hissy fit. And lately, people are holding open doors and saying please and thank you and looking me in the eye. And I love it. I absolutely love it. That should definitely be trending. We should be following that. That should be trending. We should do more of that. I love it. So, positive things. And I'm feeling pretty optimistic, which is kind of weird for me to feel. I'm trying really hard to be like, if you say yellow taxi and you talk about yellow taxis, you're only going to see yellow taxis. So I'm trying to see positive and look at the positive, be aware of my surroundings. And if someone is throwing a temper tantrum, part of me wants to go, I wonder if they're just having a bad day. I wonder if their life just kind of sucks right now and they're just having a bad day. Or the other half of me is like, what a fucking idiot. This guy. He's probably a big old lefty. Anyway, hey, to everybody out there of all walks of life, I don't care what color or race, religion, what country you're from, what gender you are, what you identify as. I genuinely, like I said, I go by character. So I appreciate you very much. I am filled to the brim. What was that coffee commercial that had that filled to the brim? I don't even know what the hell I'm talking about, but I swear there was like Folgers filled to the brim with. Anyway, I don't know how the saying goes, but I am filled full of gratitude and appreciation for every single person out there that has tuned in once, twice, or every single podcast. It means the world to me. Don't stop. That is a good thing to be addicted to. You can be addicted to my podcast, and then you can get other people addicted. Be like, look, you'll be real cool. Everybody's doing it. You'll be real cool. And try to get them to listen too. And again, it could even be to put you to sleep. Whatever works. I'm not ashamed. If you listen to my podcast to fall asleep, that's okay. I get it. Especially this one. I'm babbling. I'm barely forming sentences. It's like midnight. And I have been at work since 6:30, but I have been up since 4:00 this morning, and it is now like midnight, a little after. Yeah. So, and I haven't sat down. I mean that I can't mean that literally because I sat in like the car and stuff. But other than that, I've genuinely been like going since 4. So, and it is my Friday. So my brain is just crazy. So this is probably not if you're just now tuning in and this is the very first podcast you have listened to of mine, oh, I'm sorry. I'm very sorry. I promise there are others. I'm not going to say they're all great. I'm not going to say that. But I have some great ones. I have some good ones. And then I have some, you could probably skip those. But talk to your friends, see which ones they like. Sometimes I get political, sometimes I get all emotional, and most of the time, I'm just all over the place and bat bananas crazy. So if this is your first one, though, I'm sorry. Like I said, there are better ones. But hey, I hope wherever you are, whatever you're doing, I hope you are having a fabulous time doing it. I hope that if you're at work, you are off work soon and you can go relax. And if it's your day off, then I hope you're having a great day off. But shout out to all of you out there that have been listening and being loyal. I appreciate it. And until next time.